Hello, and welcome to another update video about ARB. ARB, Arbitrum, not a coin that I cover very often because people are not interested anymore. It's quite funny how quickly sentiment shifts with these coins. Yeah, it was a very popular coin months ago. Now nobody's talking about Arbitrum anymore. And I think the chart is reflecting that. I already warned weeks ago, that this chart, hasn't got a clearly bullish pattern. It never had. Yeah, we were tracking one, but when it broke support, we said, look, this is probably not giving us any clear upside for a while. And however, we are tracking still a potentially bullish structure here. I want to take you through. I don't believe in it. It is marked with question marks. I find at the moment the yellow wave count more reliable. So there are two wave counts here. There is one, which is the yellow one, which I find highly reliable. When we talk about a chart like that. Now you need to know that with any chart that has a short chart history, you're struggling with TA. Yeah, you would struggle here with any TA, not just Elliott wave, because the chart only just started basically in March. So we give our best with what we've got. What I can tell you is that many charts that eventually fail start like that. That doesn't mean it couldn't go higher. It certainly can, but it needs to follow the orange structure to do so. So it would need to prove it to us basically, because it recently made a new all-time low and it hasn't shown us any impulse in its lifetime. That's just a fact. So there is no reason really objectively, other than when you believe in the fundamentals or something, which doesn't really do much to price. But if you really watch this chart objectively, there is nothing bullish about this chart. It has made a lower low and lower highs recently. It hasn't made a new all-time high. It has never shown us an impulse in its lifetime. You could argue that this was an impulse here, what I labeled as C wave, but it obviously broke below, well, it broke to new lows, and therefore obviously I have to count that as an ABC structure. So yeah, what is likely now? So the yellow count for me is still likely and primary. It is the path here to the downside in 5 waves down. It could be that we completed a wave 1 already. This here is now a wave 2 pullback, which might still extend higher. What is resistance for the wave 2? Resistance for the wave 2 is all the way up to $1.63. So it means that it could even go higher in this yellow wave 2, okay, without invalidating a more bearish interpretation of this chart, which means we need to see a sustained break in 5 waves above 163 to consider something really bullish with a high likelihood. At the moment, I'm considering something bullish, but not with a high likelihood, okay? It is not an unlikely development. Otherwise, I wouldn't show you the wave count, but it's certainly not my primary. And that's why I show you the orange wave count, which is the bullish interpretation with question marks. Idea is that somewhere in resistance or below resistance, this move up fails and we see a sell-off in wave 3. Then there should be a 4 and a 5. Always open to change my views, absolutely. And to be honest, we're currently in a long trade setup because this could be a so-called 1-2, 1-2 setup. This would be the most bullish interpretation. However, it would need to hold the $1.12 level. Below $1.12, things are going to get very uncertain because then I cannot get away with a 1-2, 1-2 interpretation, which could result in a third wave rally. But it would need to turn around above $1.11, $1.12. Should avoid a sustained break below these levels. Make or break point for this scenario is the $1.06 level, which means that yes, this wave 2 can go a little lower. But it's sort of my own rule that any sustained break below the 78.6 fib level will make a less likely setup even less likely, okay? So yeah, there is a bullish setup and we have quite decent reward to risk from here, okay? Because a third wave rally could take us to at least $1.60, okay, at least, but it should then eventually go higher, of course. There would be a 4th wave and a 5th wave, and then this would be the larger degree 3rd wave. I haven't labeled it completely. I want to highlight to you that there is a bullish potential from here. I'm tracking that. Do I necessarily believe it? Not really, yeah, because the chart hasn't given me any reason to believe it so far. I mean, we have a lifetime downtrend, you could argue. So it made a new all-time low, okay, just a few weeks ago, and it failed to rally in an impulse. So there is nothing clearly bullish here other than tracking 5 waves. I think this chart will become interesting once it forms 5 waves up above resistance. Now, I would not suggest to buy it at the all-time high or something. I would then wait for a 3-wave pullback in an ABC correction for a decent corrective pullback that allows me to calculate reward to risk. That gives me clarity that, okay, the trend probably shifted to the upside. But there's no point from my side to buy into a coin that is basically in a lifetime downtrend. Now you could argue, yeah, it's making higher highs, higher lows, and absolutely it does. But you need to consider the context, okay? And this is just very localized. Now, of course, you can do other stuff. You can buy the coin because of fundamentals if you believe that. That's up to you. I just don't see a clear Elliott wave setup here. You can use trend lines, even though I don't find one that is very well defined here. Looks rather like we broke it, okay, because we had 3 touch points here, it was broken. Fib support is still holding, so it is technically still a long trade setup as per Elliott wave, but not a reliable one, in my opinion. Yeah, that's my update about ARBITRUM. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.